three asavas. So without further ado, I would like to invite my teacher. Most of you know him, have seen him, may even have met him on his several visits to the UK since 1990. So he's one of my teachers, and at the moment he's in Sri Lanka. Most Venerable Dr. Pollamure Soratha Mahathero. He was from a senior lecturer at University of Peradeniya for some time until end of 1990s. After that, he has been traveling around the world to support the missions of many temples from far east to far west. So recently, he was in Boston States for a couple of years before he moved to Sri Lanka, and then got locked down in Sri Lanka, obviously because of the pandemic. So we thank you for joining, and hopefully, you'll be able to, develop your deeper understanding on the asavas. So I rather use the word asava now. So if you have any questions, please do email me so that I can forward the questions to the Venerable Sir, and then he will then reply to you, and then I can forward that back to you. So we hope you will gain a lot from this discussion. So please, contemplate on what has been said. This might require deep thinking and also focused listening. Okay, so you have to listen carefully to understand what is in this content. Okay, so and now we'll hand over to the Most Venerable Sir from Sri Lanka.
Hello. Let us start with homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Dhamma discussion organized by the London Mindfulness Meditation Center. Especially, I would like to give my blessings and good wishes to Venerable Nepali Mahathero for organizing this Dhamma discussion, and to all the participants who joined with us in this morning. Today, I am not going to talk about meditation, but I want to discuss how to meditate, how to practice. I have chosen a very important discourse given by the Buddha called Sabbasava Sutta. It comes in Majjhima Nikaya, the second sutta, second discourse. Usually we listen to the various Dhamma talks and Dhamma discussions delivered by various teachers. Mostly what we do, we attach to the listening. Sometimes we attach to the teacher who teaches us. But when you listen to the Dhamma, the very important thing is to faith or the belief or the pleasant thoughts upon the Buddha, not the preachers, not the books, and not the organizers. When we recognize the Buddha, so we have get the idea to practice Buddha's teaching and work accordingly to purify our mind, to purify our thoughts, to strengthen the mind and heart. That is how we gain the happiness, real happiness. The mostly we are in the samsara, or the cycle of existence. We practice in a different way, and we get different way of thinking. But when we born as a human being, when we get the opportunity to listen to the Dhamma, and we are fortunate enough to practice the real teachings of the Buddha, and again to purify our thoughts, purify our mind, and get the real happiness. Mostly we listen to the Dhamma and we think we know the Dhamma, we know the Buddha's teaching, but we collect a lot of materials, and again we collect the knowledge of the Buddha or the Buddha's teaching. So, we think your listening to the Dhamma is to way to the Nibbana, or way to the happiness, way to the peace. In one way, listening is very important. But the point is, although we listen to the Dhamma, we listen it and forget it. We don't know what we have listened. There's a saying, Uchchanga Panya, in Pali terms. Uchchanga means the lap knowledge or lap understanding. When you keep something in our lap, and without our knowledge, we stand up and go away. So something we have kept in the lap, on the lap, it has fallen. Likewise, we listen to the Dhamma and forget it and no practice. We go to another place to listen to the Dhamma and we enjoy the listening. It's like watching the TV, the teledrama, or they listen to the music. Only for that time we enjoy the listening. Sometimes we enjoy the teachers, the preachers' attitude, but the teachings has not gone to the mind or heart. The Buddha says, the knowledge can be gained through 3 stages. First, the listening through the teachers, maybe monk or lay teacher. We listen to him or her. And the second stage, we have to memorize all the time that teaching. We have to memorize and investigate. This is the second stage. The third stage is the practice. When we say making a tea, for example, we may learn from someone to make a cup of tea. If you keep in the mind the method, you learn from the teacher, learn from your friend how to make the cup of tea. So you memorize and you start to work with it, make a cup of tea. So we can enjoy, I have done it to make a cup of tea. Then the meaning is to enjoy the cup of tea. That means to taste it. So when you taste it, you understand, you experience the taste of the tea. So likewise, the Dhamma or the Buddha's teaching, first we have to listen and keep in the mind, memorize whatever you listen from the teacher. Then after that, so you have to practice. Then when you practice, as you practice, you can get the real taste of the Dhamma. The real taste and the peace of mind. So the most important thing is to be a good listener. First, you have to be a good listener. And thirdly, should be a good practitioner. Good practitioner. That's how we can get the result or the real taste of the Dhamma. Today, I have to mention that these days, particularly our friends in the United Kingdom, United States and some other countries are passing a very, very difficult period because of the coronavirus. All are locked down and shut down. We should call into mind sympathy, loving kindness upon all our people who are affected with this terrible virus and wish them good mental health, protection, and maintain the peaceful mind to face this difficult situation with better understanding. Today we can see some other problems we are facing because of this coronavirus. Sitting together, for example, and live alone. This is really a challenge. Life challenges we confronted with. In this case, the very important thing is to maintain the patience and discipline verbally and physically. Not to make angry speeches and to avoid irritable physical actions such as making unnecessary noises and generate loving kindness upon all the family members all the time, and in the case of this coronavirus. If you live alone, at home, this is an wonderful opportunity to observe yourself and concentrate, meditate to understand ourselves using this solitude living. When we sit together, mostly the very important thing is to share the loving thoughts, loving words and loving action. If you live alone, so you can use this lonely period to think ourselves, who am I? What caused to come to this human being, why I was born as a human being, how I should practice, how should I act to get the peaceful thoughts and peaceful living in this difficult period. So when you think and act accordingly, you get the opportunity to understand your own thoughts, own mind, own heart, and at the same time you can develop good character and peaceful thoughts and peaceful environment. Today's discussion has two parts. One part is to practice a meditation session, maybe 15 minutes. Second part, I'd like to explain the one sutra or the discourse delivered by the Buddha called Sabbasava Sutta. The Sabbasava Sutta mostly very connected with the meditation. The main idea of meditation is to purify our thoughts. During this samsaric life or the cycle of existence, we have accumulated various kinds of good thoughts and bad thoughts. When you have good thoughts, we are happy. And when we have the bad thoughts, we are unhappy. The anger, for example. If we are angry, we are not happy. And also, if we have craving for something or someone, so we are not happy. And if you don't know what's good and bad, you have no choice, good and bad. So we are ignorant. So we don't get the real happiness because of the thoughts. Always the thoughts comes front. We think first and we work accordingly. Sorry. So the main thing is to keep our mind pure, and when we act accordingly, our actions are very pleasant, pure and happy. The happiness comes to oneself and it influences to others. All are happy. So Now I invite all of you to get ready for the practice, the meditation practice. You know how to get ready for the meditation. The most very important thing is to sit in a meditation posture, comfortable meditation posture. Keep your eyes closed gently and keep the head and back erect and your hands resting comfortably inside your lap. Various kind of thoughts arise in your mind. But you have to limit the thoughts. Now we are living in this hall, so not to send our mind out of the hall first. To gradually we forget all the outside from our body. Then we see our body ourselves. Sometimes the mind goes with the daydream, so we have to bring the mind. As soon you recognize your mind has gone from your body, aware yourself. Your body. So your whole body is now relaxed. Your head and upper part of the body and lower part of the body is relaxing. Your backside is resting very straight. Your eyes are closed gently. So you may recognize something, some kind of movements inside of the body. First of all, we can see the whole body as a statue. Head, neck, upper part of the body, both arms, abdominal area, lower parts of the body. So you picture yourself. This is I am. This is what we call me. So you may see inwardly and you see what is happening inside my body. When you keep the body relaxed, you can feel some moments, some sensation, especially the upper part of the body. Take a long breath and exhale. So, inhale and exhale. You note that in and out, the air enters from the nostrils and you can feel the abdominal area is expanding. We generally say rising. The abdominal area, the rising and falling. When you inhale and you take in breath, you feel your abdominal area is rising. And when you exhale, you feel the abdominal area is falling, rising and falling. Rising and falling. Keep the natural breath. This natural breath is your meditation object. And what does the breath? The body expands and falls, rising and falling. Rising and falling. Observe the gentle rhythm on your breathing. Aware the bodily sensation, the rising and falling. When you take the in-breath, you recognize as it is. When the air enters the body through the nostrils, you notice and aware the air enters the body. When it go out, you recognize it goes out. Remain mindfully without thinking anything. Observe this, the rhythm of the breath and the rising and falling movements of the abdominal area. When you do like this, you are experiencing something special. normally we breathe in and out all the time till we die. But we don't know the rhythm of the breath. When you meditate or when you sit down for this practice itself, you understand, sorry, you understand the rhythm of the breath. Sometimes the breath comes as a long breath. Sometimes it's short. So you recognize and understand that is one rhythm, one way of the natural breath. Sometimes long, sometimes short. Sometimes the in-breath is long, out-breath is short. Sometimes in-breath short, the out-breath long. Try to recognize this rhythm. Our mind is usually difficult to keep in one place. The mind, the habit is to run away and go here and there, the running. So when you keep the mind in breath and out breath, the mind try to run away. Sometimes we don't know, without our knowledge, the mind goes away. So we have to catch the mind and bring back and keep again on your object of meditation, the breath. When it goes out, you have to catch as soon as possible. The mind go away and try to bring some memories, some thoughts, emotions, anger, fear, etc. So, in a day-to-day life, when some kind of memories come to our mind, we act blindly. We couldn't understand what kind of thoughts. When you get angry, so you work accordingly and make trouble. You use the bad thoughts and you eradicate the mental peace, and again physical action, sometimes very rude, recognize, observe your thoughts. Your meditation object is the breath. Try to keep the mind with the breath. The breath mostly, we understand, it's connected with the body. And the mind recognizes. You recognize the breath and keep the mind in the breath. In and out. In and out. The abdominal area rising and falling. Rising and falling. When you observe in this way, without your knowledge, the mind goes away. Mind goes very far away sometimes, very far, and brings some memories, some thoughts, some emotions, maybe good, maybe bad. The technique is to get the peaceful mind. When the mind goes away from the body or the breath, try to catch it soon, as soon as possible. So when the mind goes away from the body, you recognize it and try to bring back, return soon, and relax a little while and repeat, observing the breath. In and out, or rising and falling. Sometimes the mind goes away from your mental object or the meditation object. Sometimes it goes very fast, very far away. When we go very far away, the mind collects the various kind of memories, various kind of thoughts. The good thoughts, okay, kind thoughts, or the loving kindness, or the pleasant thoughts on the Buddha. So it brings a peace for you. The good thoughts bring the peace. But the memory comes as a bad thoughts, anger, jealousy, or the craving For example, these bad thoughts brings unhappiness. And your whole body changes. If you are not mindful, if you don't recognize the bad thoughts, you act accordingly, badly. Bad thoughts and bad action. So you make many kinds of trouble. These defilements are resting in the mind. Those memories resting in the mind. And these thoughts, bad thoughts, become the defilements or the taints or the fermentations, boiling. The bad thoughts boil inside of the body, inside of the mind, inside of the heart. Anger, for example, when you get angry, it boils inside. It fermentates. So this fermentations we call asava. So the recognizing itself, very important, these asavas. You try to keep your mind peacefully, but these asavas or fermentations make you unhappy, make your character bad. So you must be careful to be away from these defilements, bad thoughts, or the fermentations. Okay, thank you for joining the meditation. Now I would like to move on to the Sabbasava Sutta, discourse on all fermentations, taints or defilements. As I mentioned earlier, this sutta or this discourse, the Buddha gave to the monks who live in the Savatthi, in the Jetavana. This sutra comes in as a second sutra of the Majjhima Nikaya. Buddha says, Bhikkhus, I shall expound to you a discourse on the restraint of all defilements. that pollute the mind. Listen well and pay good attention. So here, the Buddha says, I expound to you this Sabbasava Sutta, the discourse, and listen well and pay good attention. This is very important. When you listen, you have to pay good attention. If you don't pay the good attention, you never listen. So listen is very important. The Buddha says, because I declare that there is the extinction of asavas in one who knows and sees. I declare that there is the extinction of asavas in one who knows and sees. The asavas are defilements, taints or fermentations, is boiling inside of the body, inside of the mind. So, when you see the defilement, when you see the fermentation itself, that is the way of extinction. If we want to avoid these defilements, so we have to recognize, we have to see, then that is the way to extinct, to be away from the defilements, to purify the mind. Here the asava or fermentations means the defilements boiling in the mind. They are like liquor, long fermented, like liquor fermented. Liquor is very strong and harmful. Likewise, defilements or bad thoughts boiling in the mind are very strong and harmful. Anger, for example. If you keep the anger in the mind for a long time, it starts to boil and ferment. And so strong and reactions are very harmful. Lust, craving, ignorance, generally we call defilements or bad thoughts. If you don't see them, as soon they appear in the mind, naturally they start to fermentate in the mind and become asavas or fermentations. So, seeing is very important to extinct these asavas. That is what we do during our meditation session. When the mind goes and the mind collects kind of memories, those memories mostly bad thoughts. If the bad thoughts brought into mind, so the mind defiles. Mind is unpure. So when you see the defilement, when you see the bad thoughts, so it is the most important way to avoid that bad thoughts. The recognition is very important. Seeing is very important. The serpent, as for example, if you don't see the serpent, if you don't know, we don't know the serpent, sometimes you hold it and make difficulties. If you see the serpent and you recognize the serpent, so you can be away from the serpent. Likewise, if you see the bad thoughts, as soon it appears, you can be away from that defilement. That is the first way to be away from the defilements or bad thoughts. The Buddha says that usually these fermentations or defilements are classified into 4 categories. It calls the Kamasava, attachment of sense pleasure, then Bhavasava, craving for better existence, especially celestial world, Brahma world, and Avijjasava, lack of understanding, Ditthasava, defilements of false beliefs. So these 4 categories you can see as the asavas. In the Sabbasava Sutta, explains only first 3 asavas or defilements, and Ditthasava, this has been taken as a part of Avijjasava or Bhavasava. So this sutra is very long one. We have to discuss with detail later on. I think we start this discussion with the meditation session. I believe you may enjoy this discussion, and you get some understanding of this sutra or the discourse, and you enjoy the practice of meditation. So I would like to wind up this discussion, and I would like to bless you all, good health, happiness and happiness. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkhantu sabba devata Sabba buddhanubhavena, sabba dhammanubhavena, sabba sanghanubhavena, sada satti bhavantu te. By the spiritual power of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha, may the Devas protect you and may all be well, healthy and happy, and may you all be safe. Thank you very much. We try to meet another time to continue this Sabbasava Sutra discussion and meditation practice. Thank you again, everybody.
So, dear friends, may I take this opportunity to thank my teacher, Most Venerable Soratha Mahathero, for his valuable contribution and leading the discussion to continue with series to follow up. Unfortunately, I have to admit, there was a sound issue, so I have texted you or in the group chat the link to YouTube